Hey, so hi guys, hi. I've really missed you guys. So today we'll be doing a part two of how I found out my husband was having an affair with my own mother. Part one was already so crazy. If you've not watched the part one video, please go and watch it. So today we'll be watching and we'll be hearing stories about how some women found out their husbands were having affairs with their own mothers. Most of these stories are Reddit stories, but they're very interesting stories. And so without further ado, let's jump into the video.
Okay, so this is the story of how I found out about my husband at the time and my mom having an affair almost 14 years ago, right after I had my daughter, and I was dealing with a lot of health issues. So as I mentioned before, my mom was living with us. She was staying down in the basement. Well, after several months of this, she ended up getting her own house. So she was renting a house and it was like a block away from us. So it was still really close not to tell him that I heard it from her. So of course I was like, of course I'm not gonna tell him anything, but inside I'm like, I gotta go confront him. So that's exactly what I did. Even though he was only living like a block away, I got in my car and I like sped out of there and I went to go confront him. And he was outside and he was actually bringing some groceries into the house, and I stopped him and I was in my car. He came out to the car and I just confronted him. And I said, hey, my mom said that you've been cheating on me this entire time. And he looked me square in the eyes and he said, well, why don't she tell you what her and I have been doing? And I will never forget the look that was in his eyes when he said that. I'm so sorry, but I'm gonna film a part two.
Oh my God. I don't know about you, but I think this woman found out her mom was sleeping with her husband in the worst way. Like, imagine your mom manipulating you, telling you about how your husband is having affairs with all these other women. And I think the whole time I will be asking my mom, like, how did you find out? How comes, like, you found out? And, like, why have you never told me? Like, and why am I not supposed to tell him about it? Like, come on. Do you think you'll be told your husband has been having an affair with multiple women and you just sit there like everything is just okay? Like, already something was off about it. So I'm happy that she asked, like she confronted her husband straight away when the mom was there, and like the response was so cold. Like, why don't you ask your mom to tell you what we'd be doing with her? What the hell? Like, ladies, how would you react if it was you? I think myself, I will be on my way to jail right now because I would flip. Like, what the hell? Like, what do you mean you've been sleeping with my mom? And then the fact that the mom is just there lying to this woman, making her think it's other women. Like, what? I don't know how you will react. I'd love to know. So people can have kids for very selfish reasons, and one thing is that narcissists are people like us. Like, they have children and they really manipulate these children. Like, you will grow up believing your mother is your best friend, your mother loves you, but the whole time she's in competition with you. The whole time she can't stand to see a man love you because maybe she didn't receive the same amount of love or is not receiving the same amount of love from your father. Like, I don't know about these women, but these women just scare me out. And I really thank God, like, my mom was super awesome. Like, my mom was really like super loving. Like, for the 15 years of life I knew her, like, I really thank God for a good mother. Like, most of the time I've been asking myself, like, how would she be if she were here? But what I don't recognize is that she was a blessing at the time that she was here, and that other people who their mothers are here are doing to them such things. Like, I don't know about if you've had a similar experience, but anyway, those are my thoughts. Let's continue with the videos and then we'll be back.
My husband slept with my mom 6 months after he and I got married. I was 24 weeks pregnant at the time and found out about the affair 1 month after giving birth to our daughter. I've forgiven them both and still live with husband and am close with my mom for the sake of our daughter, who is now 3. I wanted her to grow up having her dad and her grandma around. I wanted to say though, I don't wish that amount of pain upon anyone. Not even my worst enemy. We already have a second child who is 1 year old and our life is going good. Do you guys believe in second chances?
I don't know about you, but no, we don't believe in second chances. And if we did, it will not be in such a scenario that my husband is sleeping with my mother. And ladies, something that I've learned, like, trust me, you have to love yourself enough to let whoever or whatever go. Like, you have to love yourself enough. Why, if it was your best friend who did that to you, you'll automatically cut her off. Why can't you cut off your mom? Which reminds me of these Gen Z stories whereby people have been cutting off their moms for like disrespecting them and like treating them bad as kids. Like, why can't we do that with people of our own family? Like, staying with that man and your mother and reconciling with them for the sake of your daughter needs to have a father and she also needs to have a grandmother is no excuse. Your mother can still be a grandmother, but you can keep your distance. Your ex-husband at this point can still be a father, but you don't have to live in the same house. You don't have to still stay married to this person. I don't know about you, but I don't think someone like that is someone I will trust anymore. Like, if a man just cheats on you like this, you will never trust him again. How will you trust this man again after sleeping with your own mother? Like, that has broken all boundaries. Like, I will not even trust my mother too. Like, I don't know about you, but I think there's somewhere where we need to draw the line at the end of the day, and I think we should love ourselves enough to let whoever and whatever go. Trust me, I'm sure this man is still sleeping with her mom. Like, at the end of the day, she'll realize like this has been going on for far too long, and then they'll come and tell her like, okay, you're the one who agreed to stay, you don't be leaving. Like, this man will disrespect her even more when she stays. Like, I think there are some irreconcilable differences, and this is one of them.
I caught my husband cheating on me with my mother. My 56-year-old mother and 28-year-old husband have always been particularly close in a way that's often creeped me out, but I never really suspected anything weird was going on until about a month ago. My mom and I have always had a bit of a rocky relationship since I was little that only seemed to get worse as I grew up. I always felt like my mom was trying to have a competition with me. No matter what I did, it seemed to upset my mom to a point where she'd constantly try to upscale me. I remember bringing my first boyfriend home and she asked what I was doing with such a handsome boy like him when it was obvious that I was out of his league. After that, I vowed the next guy I'd bring home would be the one I marry, and I held that promise. I brought my fiancée to meet my mom after 3 years of dating. It seemed like her and my fiancée clicked right away. I was so happy and I felt like I had finally found the right one for me. It was all great until now. I recently noticed my husband distance himself away from me. It was as if he couldn't stand to be around me anymore. At first I assumed it was a phase like it usually is in most marriages. I believed it would pass, but it didn't. Things only got worse for us over time. He would sneak away every time his phone rang, and after asking a couple of friends what I should do, they told me I was probably just paranoid and all I needed to do was spice up our relationship by changing up our routine, but it never seemed like he was interested to try. One night when I had stayed up way past midnight, Googling the signs of a failed relationship, his phone went off and I decided to check for him since he was asleep. I quickly realized it was from my mom. She had called him 10 times, leaving him a message calling him babe and telling him to text her back. When I opened their message, I found out that he'd been texting her since the beginning of our marriage. Sending flowers to her job. Telling her how much he wished he met her before me, and how he didn't want to break my heart but he was going to leave me eventually. I'm heartbroken and have no idea what I'm going to do after this.
Who, ladies, when I tell you men can be messy, men can be messy. Like, you mean to tell me this affair had been going on since the beginning of the marriage? And you mean to tell me this man even had the audacity to be buying her mom flowers and sending them to her workplace? Like, I'm sure he was doing nothing for her, but he was doing all that for her mom. Like, come on. Like, do you need enemies if you have such people in your life, ladies? Like, this story is so messed up. Like, especially if a man is a narcissist, he'll always take it all the way there. Trust me. And then something else is, it's already traumatizing to find someone calling your husband babe on the phone. Now, imagine finding out that it's your own mother calling your husband babe on the phone. Like, how traumatizing can that be? Like, do people even heal from such stuff? Like, God, please forgive me, but I think that will be the end of me and my mom and my husband. I don't think some things are reconcilable. Like, I think people should know where to draw the line, and people should really like keep a girl code, keep like their legs closed at this point, because I can't believe a mother will do that to her own daughter unless she's a narcissist, unless she's always in competition with her own daughter, unless she's jealous of her. Like, those are the things narcissistic moms do from the story times we've watched. And then the craziest part about these stories is the blame shifting. These men will blame you. They'll tell you, oh, how you've been a boring wife, how you're not attractive anymore after giving birth to their child. and how you're always busy with the baby. But mind you, they won't assist you even to raise this baby or even to do house chores. And another thing ladies have learned, never think you're just paranoid. Like if you're paranoid about something, like women's instincts are loud. Like it's either you clear that paranoia by doing your investigation or you confirm it. It's either those of the two, but never ignore something you've had. Like how true that is after the relationship or later on the line, you'd wish you would have knew it sooner, because you would have avoided wasting so much time with such a person. Like a person who can sleep with your mother is a person who you cannot trust. Like that is a man personally I cannot trust. I don't know about you.
Update: I'm pregnant and my husband has been sleeping with my mother. Around 2 hours ago, I confronted my husband when he came home from work. I told him that I know everything. I showed him the pictures and messages. At first he denied, but when I showed him the evidence he started crying. Crying. Actually crying. He had the nerve to cry and get on his knees while holding and caressing my stomach. He told me that I would be a bad mother if I left him and raised my child without a father, because a baby needs a dad in their life to fully grow mentally and physically. I honestly don't know what to say except that it's pure BS. I told him that I was contacting a lawyer in order to file for divorce. I had already packed my things before he came home. I'm currently staying at a local motel about 30 minutes away from my home. I've asked my cousin if I can stay with her for a few days and she has agreed. I'm getting everything sorted from there. My husband has been blowing up my phone with messages and apologies. He's told me that if I take him back, he won't do anything to hurt me ever again and he will cut all ties with my mother. As for her, I've also confronted her. I messaged her once I got to my motel. I told her I was pregnant and that she will never get to see her grandchild. She has not responded yet. I have also moved all my finances that I had in my husband and I's shared bank account to my personal savings account. I have chosen to cut all ties off with my mother. She messaged me just a few hours ago and I honestly do not have the heart to reply. It's also made me rethink my situation. I'm so sorry for the pain and hurt I've caused you. It was never meant to go this far. I love you so much, with every inch of my heart, but you are not the victim. How dare you hold this against me and take away my right to see my one and only grandbaby? You are cruel. If you do this, you will forever live life regretting. Please do not do this to me. I am your mother, I love you. I have ended it with your husband. We are no longer on speaking terms. Please push past this. A child cannot be raised without a father or grandmother. I love you. Please call me. I have a lawyer and am in the process of looking for an apartment. I have no intention of allowing either my former husband or mother into my child's life, but I'm also afraid that my child will grow up deprived of many child-father bonding experiences. I want to move on and away from all of this. As for my husband, his messages have gone quiet, which I am thankful for. My cousin has been helping through this and is currently the only family member other than my mom and husband who know about the affair.
Ladies, this is a man you never take back or trust again. Like, if a man can cheat on you with your mom, I don't know what he can't do. That man even can kill you, I don't know, but hey, that's so messed up. And her mom is so entitled too. I can't imagine the narcissism in this. Like, she doesn't even recognize her own mistakes. She doesn't even acknowledge them. She blames this lady. She even tells her, oh, like, I'm entitled to my grandchild. No, 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 you're not entitled to your grandchild. Like, I think now this discussion of Generation Z, the Gen Z is cutting off their parents from their grandchildren's life or from their own lives. Like, it has brought up a lot of controversy, but I think no one is entitled to their own grandchildren. Treat your kids well if you want to be part of their children's lives. Like, treat your kids well. Like, you have to earn that place. It doesn't just come by default, or it's just automatic, or it's a must, or you're entitled to it. And then the mom has the audacity to call her cruel and selfish. Like, come on. Like, and then the husband tells her, oh, like, I won't repeat it again. Oh, like, please come back. Like, will you not repeat it again because I caught you? Like, in the first place, why would you be involved with my mom or with such a thing, knowing that you're married? Like, and this mom, did she even think about her daughter? Did she even think about her daughter when she was sleeping with the daughter's husband? Like, did she think, like, these people are gonna have kids later? Like, if my daughter found out about this, she might cut me off from my children's life. But no, she doesn't think about that because she thinks she'll always be able to manipulate her way into her mind. But I'm happy this woman is standing strong and has cut off her husband and her mom, even if it's just for some time first before she establishes the clear boundaries needed.
Today, I found out that my husband has been having an affair with my mother for the past 5 years. I, 26F, have been married to my husband Eric, 28M, for 6 years. I had no plans of marrying Eric at first as he wasn't stable, but I got pregnant unexpectedly. My father was a very traditional man, so I wasn't given a choice but to get married. It was a civil wedding which only our parents attended, not the wedding I have dreamed of since I was little. I had the baby shortly after, and seeing as we didn't have anywhere to go, my father let us live in his parents' abandoned house. The first couple weeks of us having the baby was extremely challenging. Me and my now regrettably husband didn't know what we were doing. Worse, Eric won't help with the baby at all because he was afraid of, according to him, ruining her. My first priority was my daughter, so I tried the best I can to at least keep her alive. After only 3 weeks, I have lost more weight than normal and was fainting because of how little sleep I had. I had enough, so I called my mom, crying, asking for help. My mother thankfully agreed. My mother came and immediately, things got better. I started eating real meals again, was finally able to take a real bath, and was sleeping more than 5 hours a night. Eric, probably due to shame, also started helping around the house more. At the time, my mother was volunteering in a church, so she had a lot of free time, which I welcomed and asked if she can live with us just until I get the hang of things. She again agreed and told me to leave my father to me. The next weeks were great. I got more comfortable taking care of my daughter, Eric was back at work, and my mother was helping wherever she can. I thought everything would be fine until one Friday, when my husband told me something outrageous. See, my mother has always been inspired by Jane Fonda and has vowed to stay in shape for the rest of her life. The gym she frequents was far from the house, so we set up her at-home videos so she can work out in the living room. That night, my husband told me, "I never knew your mom looked so hot underneath all those clothes, Jenny. You should start working out so you can look like what you used to." It hasn't been 3 months since we had the baby, so I was enraged. In my anger, it flew over my head that my husband just called my mother hot.
It says, I heard we were exposing our husband's mistresses. My mother. Dude, that's crazy. Listen, here's my thing. First of all, these exposed posters, I don't think they work the way that you want them to. All you're doing is you're just airing out your business and you look embarrassing by comparison. Second of all, oh, dude, I would listen. Her mother is fucking banging, dude. Are you kidding me? This is this guy's strategy. He's already got kids with you. He's gonna bang out your mother, who's a fucking absolute BBW mature fox, and then you're gonna time will heal all wounds, and by the time you're over it, you're just gonna look like her anyway, and he's still slamming that fucking ham, dude. This is a no-loss scenario.
So sometime back, I once heard a certain pastor saying like, marriages don't go wrong, they start wrong, or relationships don't go wrong, they just start wrong. And in this case, this is one example of it. This lady and this man are not planning to be in a committed relationship. She just got pregnant unexpectedly, so that's the first wrong flag, wrong foundation, and the first red flag. So you wouldn't expect things to go well, but at least you wouldn't expect him to be cheating on her with her mother. Hey, I can't believe this man had the audacity to tell this woman like he couldn't take care of their baby because he's afraid of ruining her. Ruining her in what sense? You're an adult, how can't you take care of your baby? You're the parent. Like, come on. I can't believe this lady was fainting because of little sleep she had. She was doing everything. She was tired. She was crying out. She even had to call her mother to the house so that she can come and help her take care of the baby. Like, I think that's very messed up. And the whole time the man is there, and then to add on top of that, this man goes ahead to tell her like, oh, she should work out and get back in shape, 3 months postpartum, so that she can be as hot as her mom. Like, why would someone make such a comment about your mother? Like, that's very messed up. Like, that comment alone would have sent me sprawling. Like, that will be the end, because there's no way you're messing. Ladies, don't allow these men to mess with you. These men will try you. They'll try you. They'll try and see how much disrespect you can take for them. And then if you're a nice lady, they don't expect you to get angry. They don't expect you to call them out, but do exactly that. And then the crazy man, sorry, not the crazy man, but the last man sounds very crazy. Like, he sounds very stupid, I'm sorry to say, but he seems like he has no empathy. If you watched that story before, that story was trending some time back. So that woman people were exposing their husband mistresses, and this woman's husband mistress happened to be this woman's mom. And I think they had mixed children, and like the mom had bought some very weird dolls. Like, that story, you can follow up that story on TikTok. It was really trending. But this man, the way he comments about it, it's like this woman was not a real person. Like, no empathy at all. Like, these men think like we are just objects. Like, we don't deserve respect. We don't deserve care. Like, they break boundaries, but they expect you the whole time to be loyal to them. Like, some of these men just want women who they'll cheat on. like, but them, they can't take it. Like, these are the same men who will be screaming in the car once they found out their lady has been seeing someone else or is receiving attention from other men. Like, I don't know about you, but all these stories are very crazy. I'd like to know which was the most crazy story to you, and I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye.